Well, the world's share markets are waiting to hear if Iran's Supreme National Security Council will approve a decision by its parliament to close the crucial Strait of Hormuz. The strait is of strategic importance because around 20% of global oil supplies and natural gas pass through the narrow body of water. To gauge how this could impact New Zealand's economy, I spoke to Infometrics Chief Executive Brad Olson and began by asking him what's happening with oil prices today.
We've seen that oil prices have popped higher now that the markets have opened as they try to understand what the further attacks over the weekend mean for oil prices and stability in the region. At one point you saw quite a spike in oil prices at the start of the session. Depending on the mix you were looking at, I think I saw numbers of up to 5%. They quickly settled back more to a 2% gain compared to where we were at the end of last week, and they're sort of bobbling around that 1.5 to 2% mark. Doesn't sound like a lot, but does just highlight that on top of the roughly 7% increase you had last week, you're getting near to a double-digit percentage increase in oil prices over just the last 1.5 weeks. That does put pressure on the likes of petrol prices for what we pay here at home. You might be seeing another 10 to potentially 15 cents a litre over the next couple of weeks, depending on how all of this plays out, because we're still waiting for some of the reaction from Iran. So we're still a little bit cautious over just how much further there might be to go.
Yeah, Brad, because currently petrol is sitting at around $2.23 to $2.30 for 91, up to $2.52 or $2.85 for 95 or 98. If things continue to escalate in Iran, in your view, could we see it surpassing $3 a litre anytime soon?
There's still potential that New Zealand petrol prices could head above $3 a litre, but it's not likely right this moment. So far, oil price reaction globally has been a bit more contained. We have seen a number of conflicts and assaults and similar breakout in the Middle East over the last couple of years, and often markets overreact only for things to pull back. So far, oil supply itself has not been threatened, although if Iran did come through with a blockade or other stoppage over the Strait of Hormuz, where about 20% of the world's oil goes through, then yes, that's probably where you'd see that greater level of pressure. Also remembering that all of this is moving very fast. Although we saw those increases in global oil prices last week, that hasn't yet translated directly through into the petrol prices we're paying at the pump here today in New Zealand. Take a little bit of time for all of that to adjust, but certainly at the moment, yes, there's more upwards pressure. We'd probably need to see oil prices go quite a bit above where they already are. Some market expectations are that yes, it could go there, but we're not there on the current numbers.
Yeah, all eyes on the Hormuz Strait and what does happen there. In the next few hours, Brad, international financial markets will open for the first time since the US military strikes on Iran. What are you expecting to see?
At the moment, we think that the financial market impact might be a bit more muted than you might otherwise have expected. If we look at how the likes of the New Zealand market has gone today and a number of Asian markets, again, yes, there's been a bit of reaction, a bit of weakness in part, but certainly not nearly as widespread as you might have thought, given this is another major international conflict, given that, you know, some are making comparisons to this being like back in the 1960s when you had the Cuban Missile Crisis. What I think is different at the moment is that, again, we're already seeing a lot of quite volatile moving parts in the global economy. There's already a weaker starting point, and so far the conflict does still appear limited enough. You've still seen conflict, yes, in the Middle East, but not playing out wider into regional players. You haven't seen attacks on shipping or anything else. So far there's caution about just how wide this could go, but no actual reality yet.